Hey everybody, I have a video here for you. I'm going to try to get through this kind of quickly here, but last week I made a video where I compared the face of Thutmoses IV to the face of the Sphinx. And even without this facial comparison, I think there is great evidence that Thutmoses IV was probably the one who put his face on the Sphinx. I mean, even if you totally disregard that facial comparison. But the facial comparison that it matches pretty good, pretty damn good if you ask me. I think this is just further evidence that it is indeed Thutmoses IV whose face is on the Sphinx. And the main reason why I say this is because he seemed desperate to make himself seem royal. And he might not have been in line to be Pharaoh of Egypt. Let me just read one thing down here. It says, he was apparently the son of Amenhotep II by his wife Tia, but Egyptologists speculate whether, because of the wording of the dream stela, his claim on the Egyptian throne was legitimate. In fact, other evidence supports this contention. His father, Amenhotep II, never recognized Thutmoses as a co-regent or announced any intention for Thutmoses to succeed him. And that is the reason why I believe the dream stela was erected. It makes Thutmoses IV seem worthy. I mean, if the Sphinx, the god, was talking to him. And by the way, that conversation starts out, "Look at me, observe me, my son Thutmoses, I am your father." And I have pointed out similar comparisons to the Thutmoses dream stela story, to the Old Testament story of Moses. In the dream stela story, Thutmoses IV gets his instructions from God. He speaks to God, supposedly, under a burning midday sun next to the Great Pyramid, the Great Mountain. And in the, of course, Moses story, he gets his instructions when he talks to God, burning bush, Mount Sinai, or wherever he got them. But anyway, Thutmoses IV names being born of the god Thoth. And I believe that there is evidence, besides the facial comparison and just the motive and opportunity, that Thutmoses IV is on the Sphinx. And this is one of the few things that were recovered from his tomb. And this is a chair panel. Let me just shrink this down a little. But this is a chair panel with the face of Thutmoses IV as the Sphinx. And he is vanquishing foreign invaders, but he seemed to want himself depicted as the face of the Sphinx. And by the way, this body, let's look at this thin, sleek body. Now, does that body look more like this, or this, or does it look like this? I think it's obvious that this is in the form of some sort of dog, some sleek dog. Obviously, the thin legs and chest and back quarters. Obviously, this is a depiction of some sort of dog. It obviously doesn't have the super broad chest and huge back thighs. To say that the Sphinx is a lion, I think the ancient Egyptians are showing us exactly what the Sphinx was in antiquity, and they knew it. Once again, does that look like a lion? Or one of these dog depictions? I think it's clear. It was never a lion, ever, and only the theory of modern man has put it as a lion. So I think one of the few things that was found in Thutmoses IV tomb, and it was looted in antiquity. In fact, the Pharaoh Horemheb, I believe he is the pharaoh, the last pharaoh of the 18th dynasty. He, in fact, has inscriptions in Thutmoses IV tomb saying that it was looted, so it was looted sometime during the 18th dynasty. So tomb robbing has always been a problem. But this chair panel, one of the few things found, I think, gives us a great clue who the face of the Sphinx was. Thutmoses IV wanted to be depicted, obviously, as the face of the Sphinx. And I also think this gives us a great clue to what the Sphinx was in antiquity, and it certainly wasn't the broad-shouldered lion, at least how Egyptians depicted lions. And also in the dream stele, a little later in that conversation between the Sphinx and Thutmoses IV, the Sphinx says to Thutmoses IV, "My face is yours, my heart is yours." So in the narrative on the dream stele, the Sphinx is saying that his face is Thutmoses IV. But I just thought I would show you one of the few artifacts left from the looted tomb of Thutmoses IV. It shows him depicted as the Sphinx, and I believe his face is the #1 candidate and is most likely on the Sphinx as we see it today. Hope you thought this was interesting, and you all have a nice day.